Welcome to today's Explainer. So, today we're diving into a story where the main character is suddenly thrust into a literally impossible life-or-death situation. We're talking about a world where every single choice has a massive, often fatal, cost. We're going to break down this hidden society of sorcery, incredibly dangerous, cursed objects, and, well, the unimaginable psychological burden of holding a literal demon inside of you. Let's just jump right in. So, I want you to ask yourself, what would you do if your only two options were to die immediately or die later? I mean, talk about a rock and a hard place, right? But this is the incredibly dark, kind of grim irony of our protagonist's whole predicament. High schooler Atadori Yuji is literally tied up, staring down this huge high-stakes ultimatum from a hidden Jujutsu society. Now, he hasn't committed a crime, not in the normal sense anyway, but he did just swallow a fiercely dangerous cursed object. And boom, we are dropped right into this intense reality where normal rules, they completely vanish.
Section 1. The Execution Ultimatum, a delay, not a pardon.
Okay, so right here we meet Satoru Gojo, this totally eccentric sorcerer. And the contrast in this scene is just completely jarring. I mean, Itadori is bound, he's literally just been sentenced to death, and Gojo, he's cheerfully chatting about buying sweet and sour buns for his train ride. It's this wild, almost inappropriate playfulness that totally masks how terrifying the situation really is. To prove he has any use at all, Gojo gives Itadori exactly 10 seconds. He challenges him to completely let the curse take over his body and then snatch control back after those 10 seconds are up. And look, this isn't some cheap party trick. It's a vital life-or-death test. By actually pulling this off, Itadori proves he possesses a 1-in-1,000-year ability to physically suppress this ancient, evil entity. He isn't just possessed, he is a cage.
Because he's this insanely rare vessel, Gojo actually manages to convince the Jujutsu higher-ups that killing Itadori right now would just be a massive waste. Instead, he pitches this incredibly morbid proposal with 3 brutal steps. Step 1. Collect all the scattered pieces of the curse. Step 2. Let Itadori absorb them completely. And step 3, face execution. So Itadori basically gets to choose, be executed right this second or act as a temporary sponge to destroy the curse forever and then get executed later. Like the title says, it's a delay, definitely not a pardon.
Moving on to Section 2, Ryomen Sukuna, the undisputed king of curses.
So you might be wondering, why on earth are these Jujutsu higher-ups so terrified that they'd immediately order the death of a teenager? Well, the answer is what's inside him, Ryomen Sukuna. He's this 1,000-year-old imaginary fierce god with 4 arms and 2 faces. But honestly, the scariest part? He actually used to be human. During the golden age of Jujutsu, we're talking over a millennium ago, all the sorcerers banded together to defeat him, and they entirely failed. Even after he died, they literally couldn't destroy his grave-wax remains. He transitioned from a human into these indestructible cursed objects, completely cementing his legacy as the absolute, undisputed king of curses.
And the magic number in all of this lore is 20. Sukuna has a total of 20 indestructible fingers scattered all over the world. And right now, the sorcerers only have 6 of them. So this sets up our massive, monstrous, overarching quest. They absolutely have to find those remaining 14 fingers before other curses find them first and absorb all that catastrophic power. It's a literal race against time.
Which brings us to Section 3, the burden of guilt, searching for a reason.
Now, how does a normal teenager even begin to cope with this? The guilt of seeing his friends, Sasaki and Iguchi, lying there unconscious and injured in the hospital, it's just eating him alive. Even when he's told it isn't directly his fault, Itadori takes on all the blame for bringing that cursed object into their lives. Standing at the crematorium, getting ready to eat a second grotesque finger, he says, "Grandpa, your last wish made me a scapegoat, but I will eat every piece of Sukuna. I've already decided." And he just swallows it, no hesitation. But here's the thing, his motivation right here, it's deeply flawed. He's driven purely by the guilt of his grandfather's dying words to save others. He's stepping onto a battlefield just because a dead man told him to, not because he truly understands the massive weight of his own choice.
Section 4. Welcome to Tokyo Jujutsu High.
And man, that flawed resolve is about to be put to a very violent test. Itadori arrives at his new battleground, the highly secretive Tokyo Metropolitan Jujutsu Technical High School. It's hidden way deep in the mountains, and it operates completely under the radar by cleverly disguising itself as a private religious school. It's ridiculously exclusive too, literally one of only 2 jujutsu educational facilities in existence. Graduates use it as their lifelong base for missions and mediation within the secret Jujutsu community. Oh, and get this, for this incoming class, there are only 3 first-year students. Total. That right there really puts into perspective just how rare and, honestly, how lethal this profession is.
But look, before Itadori can officially join those ranks, he has to get through Principal Masamichi Yaga's interview. And no, this is definitely not your standard sit-down Q&A. Amidst calmly needle-felting these cute plush dolls, Principal Yaga suddenly launches a relentless physical and psychological assault using cursed dolls. These are basically corpses animated by his own curses. He's throwing punches at Itadori just to expose his true motivations, bluntly demanding to know why he's really there. Principal Yaga hits him with a really harsh reality check. He says, "A Jujutsu sorcerer always faces death. You have to be crazy to do this." Yaga ruthlessly unpacks the danger of Itadori's mindset. He warns him, "Look, if you're fighting curses just because a dying relative told you to, that is a total recipe for disaster. When you're bleeding out, facing your own gruesome, terrifying end at the hands of a monster, you aren't going to feel noble. You're going to curse your grandfather for putting you in that situation. You have to have your own reason to fight." And this triggers a massive psychological shift for Itadori. He started out fighting as a sort of scapegoat for his grandpa's dying wish, right? But under the intense pressure of these cursed dolls literally beating him down, he realizes something totally vital. His whole life, he's been naturally good at sports, good at fighting, but acting as a vessel for Sukuna? That's something only he can do. He goes from blindly following this external command to taking profound personal responsibility.
And that right there is the true resolve. Itadori realizes that if he ignores this entirely unique power, he's going to have to live with unbearable regret. If he walks away just to save his own skin, he knows that one day he'll be sitting there eating a meal or taking a bath and the thought will just creep in. Someone right now is dying because of Sukuna, and I could have stopped it. He absolutely refuses to live with that guilt. It's this deeply personal realization that finally makes him pass the principal's test. He officially earns his admission.
Section 5. The Human Radar.
Okay, so he's in. But what exactly is his role now? Finding those remaining fingers is incredibly hard. Some of them are totally quiet, some have already been swallowed up by other curses. But because the Sukuna inside Itadori naturally craves its lost power, Itadori is going to act as a living locator. Think about it. He's both the vessel meant to contain the curse and the radar pulling him directly into the path of the missing fingers. So with Itadori acting as both a ticking time bomb vessel and a human radar, what kind of unimaginable dangers are waiting for them out there? They're heading out to hunt those remaining fingers and track down the mysterious third first-year student to complete their trio. The execution is delayed, his resolve is ironclad, and the hunt is officially on. Thank you so much for joining me to break this all down today, and as always, keep that curiosity sharp.